Donald Trump's election as the ultimate outsider in 2016 sent companies scrambling to understand the new president. A handful turned to an unconventional place for help, his longtime fixer and New York lawyer, Michael Cohen. The payments by AT&T and Novartis AG to Cohen show how even companies with robust lobbying operations sought knowledgeable insiders to glean insight into Trump's Washington, using backdoor channels that may not be illegal, but have now drawn the scrutiny of special counsel Robert Mueller, who is investigating Trump's campaign. Any formal lobbying by companies of Congress or cabinet agencies must be reported and disclosed quarterly. The company's outreach to Cohen, who isn't part of the administration, isn't a registered lobbyist and isn't an expert in the telecommunications or pharmaceutical industries, falls into a secretive, gray area of influence activity that ethics experts charge is ripe for abuse. Either fear or the payments aren't in and of themselves illegal, because companies are allowed to pay for professional advice. They have catapulted two corporate giants into the wider furor around Russian election interference, oligarchs with suspected ties to Trump in payments to the adult film actress Stephanie Clifford, who goes by the name Stormy Daniels. It looks bad, said Larry Noble, the senior director at the Campaign Legal Center, a Washington-based group that monitors campaign finance and other political issues, who questioned what motives the companies had for paying Cohen. They might have thought it would make Trump happy if they were paying his lawyer, Noble said. Both AT&T Cohen initiated the discussions with Novartis, according to a person familiar with the situation who asked not to be named because the matter isn't public. Novartis said it paid Cohen $1.2 million in 12 monthly payments beginning in February 2017, just days after Trump's inauguration. Novartis said it determined early on that Cohen wasn't going to be able to help with healthcare policy matters, but it continued to make payments until the contract expired because it couldn't be terminated for cause. Cooperating with Mueller AT&T. The company said it had cooperated fully, providing all information requested in November and December of 2017, that was shortly before the contract with Cohen expired. Earlier, the company's statement that the contract started in early 2017 and ended in December suggests there may have been more payments. Cohen's portfolio for AT&T included helping it understand how the administration might approach issues like antitrust enforcement and corporate tax reform, according to an internal email Wednesday obtained by Bloomberg. One assumes that they were trying to learn about Trump as a person or develop contacts with him, said Noble, a frequent Trump critic. Read more at While the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington is tasked with enforcing the law and getting firms into compliance, violations of disclosure laws rarely result in civil or criminal penalties. Yet there is also a realm of largely hidden influence in Washington. That can include lawyers, public affairs specialists and those in charge of giving to prominent think tanks, as well as former lawmakers who request meetings without advocating for a position. Besides Cohen, others have taken on consulting roles based on their access to Trump, including his former campaign manager Corey Lewandowski. Lewandowski, who has been an occasional visitor to the White House and has traveled at least twice with the president on Air Force One, established consulting businesses after the election, but never registered to lobby. Trump Access Elliot Broidy, a major fundraiser for Trump's campaign, sought to profit from his access to the president, according to emails that were hacked and leaked to the media. According to a 3-page summary of a meeting in the Oval Office last October, Broidy touted the creation of a counter-terrorism task force consisting of 5,000 Muslim soldiers who would fight the Taliban and Islamic State, with help from one of Broidy's companies, Cersnus LLC, a defense contractor based in Virginia. Brody suggested to the president that the deputy commander of the United Arab Emirates Armed Forces meet with Trump in New York or New Jersey. 2 months later, the UAE, which had joined Saudi Arabia in an embargo of Qatar that Brody supported, awarded a $200 million contract to Cersness to perform confidential work, according to Brody. Playmate payment. Brody resigned as a deputy finance chairman of the Republican National Committee after news surfaced that Cohen had arranged a $1.6 million payment to a former Playboy playmate who said she had been impregnated by Brody. According to the summary of Cohen's transactions prepared by Avenatti, Brody sent $387,500 to Essential Consultants between November 2017 and March 2018. In addition to paying lobbyists to influence policy, companies often hire insiders with knowledge of pending government actions to give them political intelligence, especially advance information on what policies the government will adopt. Learning of government decisions before they are publicly announced can give a company a leg up on its competitors. Those who simply gather information for their clients, even from the president, without crossing the line into advocacy don't qualify as lobbyists. In the broadest sense, it is not on its face unethical, illegal, improper for any person or organization in the private sector to try to interact with government agencies, said Tim LaPira, a political science professor at James Madison University who has studied lobbying transparency effort for years. Members of Congress have tried to make such arrangements more transparent, without success. The late Representative Louise Slaughter, a New York Democrat, introduced a bill last June that would have required those who provide political intelligence, especially when used to analyze securities or commodities markets, to file the same kind of reports that lobbyists do. That effort garnered just 4 co-sponsors. The Trump era and the Vladimir Putin-ordered attack on our electoral process have made it abundantly clear why Congress needs to pass the Political Intelligence Transparency Act without delay, said Representative Tim Walz, a Minnesota Democrat and one of the bill's co-sponsors. The bill will bring the political intelligence industry out of the shadows. Senator Charles Grassley, a Republican of Iowa, first introduced a measure to apply the same disclosure requirements for lobbyists to political intelligence firms in 2012. That proposal applied only to those who used information from government sources for analyzing securities, commodities and other financial markets. Grassley's office didn't respond to a request for comment. No more cupcakes at. It had 96 lobbyists working for it in the first quarter of 2018, including 17 on its payroll and the rest at some of K Street's most prominent firms, including Akin Gump Strasshauer. While telecommunications issues were most frequently listed at. Late last year, the government sued to block the deal and the decision is now before a federal judge. The pharmaceutical company has averaged spending about $7 million a year on lobbying over the past 5 years. Companies like AT. Uncertainty around what to expect from Trump's administration may have heightened the need to gather information, he added. You get a lobbyist, a lawyer, somebody with some connection with an office and you try to simply learn what's going on and then take that back and feed that into your formal lobbying strategy, he said, with assistance by John Lauerman, James Patton, David Boryakos, and Zachary Mitter.